You know, to be honest, I thought the scams were slowing down, specifically crypto scams, until I saw this today. And I know this isn't new, but lately I haven't been hearing as much news about crypto scams as you hear when crypto is pumping and everyone seems excited. Um, but today I realized that doesn't mean that the scammers aren't still working behind the scenes. And the crazy thing is, even though crypto is, basically digital or virtual currency, the scam tactics are still very much physical and emotional. So I want to walk through some scams that we should all be aware of, even in these downtimes, because we can't get lazy in our security just because the crypto market isn't going crazy. We still need to be on guard and we still need to keep our crypto secure because those of us who are still holding crypto, especially through these downtimes, understand that it'll go back up and we want to be able to benefit from that when it does go back up, right? We want to keep our crypto. That's why we have hardware wallets and things like that. But today I saw that people were receiving letters that look like this. So this is a letter that is apparently from Trezor. And basically in this letter, it says that it came from Trezor. It has their address on it, has their logo on it. It's even got a QR code and an apparent signature from their CEO. And basically the letter says, reminder authentication check will soon become a mandatory part of Trezor. Authentication check will become a mandatory part of the Trezor Suite experience for the following devices. And then they list off literally every single Trezor device. So this targets everyone. And this is a physical piece of mail that arrived at someone's house. And if you're wondering how, scammers get this information and how they know maybe you own a Trezor wallet, we'll get to that in a second. But this is a social engineering scam. So you're going to go to this. I mean, don't go to the link, but if you were to go to this link on the QR code or the link in this letter, what ends up happening is your device will be compromised. Likely, this is a seed phrase compromise. So they'll ask you to enter your seed phrase, but realistically, anything can come from visiting a malicious website. You could download some kind of malware onto your computer. A bunch of different things. But the ultimate goal and the lowest hanging fruit for all scammers is your seed phrase, because the moment they get your seed phrase, they have access to all of your crypto. They don't need your hardware wallet. They don't need the PIN or really anything else. Once someone gets your seed phrase, your crypto is now their crypto. And then once they transfer it to their own wallet, there's no getting it back. And I know a lot of you are probably like, well, who in the world would fall for this scam? Well, you'd be surprised. This is especially effective because it's landing in your mailbox. It's very personal. What we get in our mailbox, yeah, we get a lot of spam and stuff. But when we get a letterhead like this from recognized companies, it feels very personal. And that's what the scammers are trying to do here. That said, physical mail, and by the way, this isn't just Trezor. Ledger is sending out, well, not Ledger, but people are receiving letters from Ledger as well. So, and I'll tell you in a second how they get the information to send that to us, but that's not the only concern, because they're not just attacking our physical mailbox, but they're also attacking our email. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen an email. Recently, my inbox has been getting flooded with emails claiming to be from Trezor and Ledger, and it usually has something to do with any trending buzzwords. So things like Web3, quantum, decentralization. These are all buzzwords used in the crypto space, and it makes it sound big, scary, and technical, and that's part of their tactics. So if you ever receive any kind of email from any crypto company, whether it's hardware wallet, crypto exchange, anything like that, and in that email, there is a call to action that is saying to sync your device or enter your seed phrase or really go to any website, you should 100% know that's a scam. And if you're not sure if it's a scam or not, go to the website on your own. Go to the URL, type in, Trezor.io. And if there's a big important message like the email is making it seem there is, it will be on their website. right? Do not click any links in your email. Do not go to any QR codes or links that you're receiving in your physical mailbox at your house. These are different ways that scammers are attacking. They're getting us both in the physical realm and the digital realm. They attack from all angles, and they are very successful. The scam industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and scammers, they really never sleep. And just remember, they always go after the lowest hanging fruit. And as far as if you're wondering how they get our addresses and personal information to send us mail, and how they might even know that you own a Trezor wallet, you might assume that, okay, well, this was from a Trezor data breach, right? That's why we're getting a fake Trezor letter. But that's not always the case. And one time I received a call from a scammer, and I'm not even kidding. When I get calls from scammers, I'll actually sit there and have a real conversation with them, and I say, hey, like, I know you're a scammer. Some of them just get pissed off and cuss me out. But I have had actual conversations with these scammers, and I'll literally just ask them, hey, will you break down how this scam works? And they'll tell me exactly what they do. So for one example, one scammer that I talked to, the crazy thing about this scammer is, a lot of times they'll have, an accent, right? Because they're overseas. Well, this scammer that called me, he sounded completely, his English was perfect. He had no kind of accent. And he told me that he was located in the United States. And how he got my information, because I asked him, I was like, he was calling me and saying that I needed to like update my Tangem wallet or something. And I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense because you don't update a Tangem wallet. And so I asked him, I was like, after I told him I knew he was a scammer, I was like, why did you mention Tangem? And he's like, oh, I just get a list of names and phone numbers and brands associated with people from people overseas. And then I carry out the scams, and then we split the money. So basically they're getting information that may have been leaked through some kind of data breach overseas. And then they're partnering with people here in the US in our country, or maybe depending on where you live, but people that speak our native language and maybe don't have an accent, all to be more convincing. And I'm not saying this is a case for every scam, but I'm just saying there's a lot of different scams, and this is kind of how they work. But yeah, he didn't know that I had a Tangem wallet. Just my name was associated with Tangem, which makes sense because I talk a lot about Tangem on the internet. So somehow my name was associated with that. They got my phone number. They called me. So just because this person received a Trezor letter doesn't necessarily mean that Trezor leaked their information or that they even own a Trezor wallet. A lot of the time, scammers just guess. But usually it's an educated guess. So like recently there was the Ledger data breach, which wasn't actually Ledger that leaked the data, but it was a third-party company that they use. That data breach leaked Ledger customer information. So they have your name, phone number, email address, and home address. And as a scammer, you could assume, well, if someone owns a Ledger wallet, or if someone has purchased a Ledger wallet, they might just own a Trezor wallet as well, because they're two very popular hardware wallets. So that's kind of how they work. Scammers, they guess, they throw spaghetti at the wall, and more often than not, they reach people who fall for this scam. So sometimes, it's just a guess. That's why education is the key to this. And again, and if you're wondering who the heck falls for this stuff, a lot of people do. It's unfortunate. But yesterday we had someone comment here on the channel, or maybe it was earlier this morning. No, it was yesterday. But basically they told me that they got an email from claiming to be from Ledger, and that Ledger needed to check if their wallet had been compromised. And so they clicked on the link in the email, and it requested this person's seed phrase, and they entered their seed phrase, and in the comment they left on the channel, they're like, all my crypto is gone now. So, but Ledger never told me if my wallet was actually compromised or not. And you just don't know what you don't know. Some people don't know that if you have the seed phrase, or if you give someone your seed phrase, it's game over. Now, a lot of us who have been watching the channel for a while, or who have been in crypto for a decent amount of time, know that the seed phrase contains everything. But still, the reality is a lot of people don't know that. So education is key, and so is continued education. Um, and this was an eye-opening experience for me, or just seeing this post on Twitter, that scammers are not taking breaks just because the market is down. They still have to make money, put food on their family's plate. So they're still working overtime to scam crypto users, and especially those who are uneducated. So that's one reason why I have these live streams, and that's the main reason why this channel exists. Along with a number of other scams, right? This is just a couple of thousands of different scams. Someone else commented on the channel earlier, and they said, "Hey, I fell for a scam on Twitter. It was another social engineering phishing link scam." And he said, "Oh, it was being promoted by Elon Musk." Again, pretty obvious to me that that's a scam, but to someone who isn't familiar with these kind of scams, it could seem legit. But come to find out, it was an AI Elon Musk, and the guy lost all of his crypto. So these scams live everywhere, and the worst part about scams on social media platforms, because they're on every platform: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook is heavy with them, TikTok. The worst part about these scammers and the platforms that they live on is the platforms, they don't care. Like on X, scammers are literally paying Twitter to run paid ads on the X platform, and they'll scam a lot of people before the ad ever gets taken down. But do you think X really cares? Not really, because they're getting paid. And same with Facebook. When I released the video about the Web3 scam, where people make videos, they take videos from popular influencers, and then they just overlay a text on it that says, "Stop using cold wallets, get your crypto on the Web3." If you've ever seen those videos, that's a scam. So I made a video about that exact scam. I went on Facebook, I got scammed intentionally, and then I reported. I talked to a lot of scammers in my DMs, and I reported all of them with the obvious proof. And Facebook came back to me with, "Oh, they didn't violate any of our terms or services. So nothing's going to happen." And it's literally they were scamming me in the DMs, and Facebook just said, whatever. So no one has your back. Like, you have to have your own back. That's just the reality of the internet. That's the reality of life. But crypto takes it a step further, because crypto is already extremely complicated and complex, and it's confusing. So even experienced people, like even myself, I'm not immune to getting scammed. I would like to think I am. I haven't been scammed yet, but I'm definitely not immune to it. Same with getting hacked. So that's why we need to do everything we can to help each other and educate each other. And that's why I'm so grateful for this community here on our channel, because we have so many smart people, and a lot of the stuff that I've learned has been from all of you who comment and ask questions and share your stories as well. So we need to keep doing that so that we can get this information out. That said, I have a couple cool things I want to share. Of course, every day I've been sharing the couple sales that are going on right now. Tangem is still having their sale. If you're looking for, so a cold wallet is obviously the easiest and most secure way to protect your crypto, and Tangem is usually the one that I recommend to beginners. They're having a sale right now. It's 20% off their entire website. Plus, you get free Bitcoin, anywhere from $5 to $20 of free Bitcoin. That link is in the description. Ledger is also still running their sale, and this Ledger sale only lasts, tomorrow's the last day. And these sales are only available using my links in the description. The Ledger sale isn't even publicly available. It's only available through my link. But that sale is, you get $80 worth of Bitcoin if you buy the Ledger stacks. You get $70 worth of Bitcoin if you buy the Ledger Flex. You get $30 worth of Bitcoin if you buy the Ledger Nano Gen 5, which is their newest wallet, very similar to the Flex, just made out of plastic. And then you get $20 worth of free Bitcoin with the Ledger Nano X, or $10 with the Ledger Nano S Plus. All those links are in the description. I also have my user guides for Tangem and the Ledger Flex if you need help setting up your wallet and transferring crypto to it. If you want to secure your crypto and sleep better at night and not get scammed and not get hacked, get a cold wallet. It's really that easy. That said, here's something interesting that I want to share and that I revisited today. So I'm going to let you in on a little we'll just call it a project that I'm working on. I'm working on a video where I'm reviewing basically every single hardware wallet that I own. So I own over 35 hardware wallets from all the different companies. I probably won't. I'm basically reviewing all of them. There are a couple that I'm going to skip. Like I'm not going to review the Trezor Model 1 because Trezor doesn't sell it anymore, or the Trezor Model T because they don't sell it anymore. They've been discontinued. So like things like that, I am going to leave out. However, I'm revisiting a lot of wallets that I haven't used for a while. One of those wallets is Arculus. I know a lot of you have asked me about this. This is very similar to Tangem in that it works the same way. The main difference with Arculus is that it's a completely metal card. So this is solid metal. I mean, there's a little flex to it. And it only comes with one card versus Tangem. It comes with multiple cards. But so today I re-downloaded the Arculus app, created a wallet with my Arculus card here. And I was surprised to see that the Arculus app, they've really updated it since I last tested it a year ago. So it's kind of fun revisiting all these different wallets. Just like a sneak peek, I've got like the SafePal S1 that I'll be reviewing. I've got, the Engrave Zero. I've got the EliPal Titan 2.0. I mean, I've got the Cool Wallet Pro, which is literally a card with the screen and a button on it. So I'm reviewing all these in one video. It's going to be a long video, and I've been working on the video for probably like 16 hours, 8 hours yesterday, almost 8 hours today. About to the point where I can finally record it. Basically, I make a bunch of notes about the different wallets and things like that. But anyways, I'm really excited about Arculus, and I'm going to do an updated review of this wallet because, like Tangem, this is a great wallet for beginners. I do have a link to Arculus down in the description. I didn't realize it because the review I made for this wallet was like a year ago, maybe even over a year ago. But there is a discount code you can use to get $10 off, which I forgot about. That discount code is down in the description. But the cool thing about Arculus is this is the only hardware wallet that's made in America, which I didn't realize. So unless there's a wallet I'm missing, this is the only one made in America that's made in New Jersey, which is pretty dang cool. And the makers of Arculus is Compo Secure. They're actually a public company, a publicly traded company, and they have a good history in the banking industry, making all different types of cards. But now that their app has a lot of different features, like you can buy, sell, swap, and stake crypto similar to Tangem, I think it's going to give Tangem a run for its money. I will say I think I still like Tangem a little bit better just because the app has a bit more features, but that's not a bad thing because the Arculus app is still a little more simple than Tangem, since Tangem is adding a lot of new stuff. So it'll be interesting to see, if nothing else, like if you enjoy Tangem, maybe you try out Arculus. That way you have two different card wallets. I don't know, but I'm excited to review this wallet again, and I'll probably start using it myself. In fact, I know I'm going to because it's a great wallet, and I forgot about it. When I reviewed it originally, the app lacked a lot. It still doesn't have nearly the same amount of network support as Tangem. Tangem supports over 80 blockchain networks. I think Arculus is around 29 blockchain networks. But as long as you check that stuff before you buy a wallet, you're good to go. Cool. So, and if you have any questions, like if you're watching this live stream later, if you have any questions about how to choose the best hardware wallet, because there's like a couple deal breakers that I look for and things like that, I'll link a video up here that you can watch if you're